SuperTalk Mississippi media production. Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any contact.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good Monday morning to you. How you doing? How's it going with you? Beautiful Monday morning. Yeah. It's a little overcast, but still nice. We still need rain. Saw someone doing a great job yesterday mowing the dirt. It may look like grass. It ain't. You can tell by the giant clouds of dust you raise as you're mowing. We're not quite back to the level of the drought we had last year during the summer. But we ain't in good shape, I'll tell you that. And I will also tell you, we do have a chance of rain this week. We may solve this problem. 20% chance today, not going to worry about that. High of 91. 20%. We had rain over the weekend. We had rain on Saturday, and all four of the drops that fell were a nice size, and that's all we got. Might be something very similar today. Tonight, clear skies, low of 69. Tomorrow, another 20% chance of late afternoon showers with a high of 92. 10% chance tomorrow night. Then business will pick up on Wednesday. A 60% chance of showers and thunder showers. Starting at 10 and going through the afternoon, possibility of a thunderstorm. We could use a good thunderstorm right now, honestly. High Wednesday around 90. It goes up to a 70% chance of rain for Wednesday night, 50% on Thursday. So there may be a little bit of relief coming here. If we can get it in here and actually get the rain from it. That's a big qualifier because, as you know, sometimes we'll look at the forecast, it'll have a nice chance of rain, and then nothing. It rains everywhere but here. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. 50% chance into Thursday as well. Thursday, by the way, in addition to the rain chance, high of 84. That's a high of 84. We'll take that. And then we go back to no chance of rain. Starting Thursday night all the way through the end of the weekend. So that is our shot technically today and tomorrow, but really Wednesday and Thursday is what we're looking at for a good dose of rain, and hopefully we'll get it because we need it badly. We need it. We're not going to get any help from the tropical area. You got Gabrielle that's out there curving up to the east of Bermuda and going up to the North Atlantic. We have two other areas there watching. Both of those look like they're going to stay in the Atlantic and curve up to the north and to the northeast. So we have three areas to look at out there, and none of them have anything to do with us, according to the National Hurricane Center. We need rain, but I'm not calling that a bad thing. Wouldn't mind a really, really low-level tropical storm, even just a tropical depression. That might be nice, but we're not going to get it because we're too dry. It's one of those things where, pick your poison. Would you rather have it too dry, or would you rather have hurricanes just barreling through one after another? It's kind of the options. The high pressure ridge that's keeping us so dry, that's why these storms are turning up to the north and not coming over in our direction. So I've got a garden hose. I can deal with that. I can deal with that a lot better than I can trees falling on everything. So we'll stick with the drought. Thank you very much. Hope you had a great weekend at the Iron Horse Festival. Apparently went very well. And a good thing. We need activities. We need safe, family-friendly activities. And the more of those we can get, the better. Speaking of which, Percy Quinn State Park is having a Park After Dark Trunk or Treat event on Halloween Day. If you haven't noticed yet, Halloween is on a Friday this year. October 31st is a Friday. They'll be doing that in the day use area of the park from 5 until 8 p.m. on that Friday, October 31st. They're looking for people to participate. Slang some candy. Don't sling the candy. That's just a euphemism. Don't get out there and start chunking things. But people to participate at 684-1023. Or you can stop out by the park and get more information. Just go to the office right there at the lodge, and they'll hook you right up. That's coming up on Halloween night. It's going to be interesting to see how Halloween goes with it being on a Friday because, high school football. So there's going to be a lot of people touring in a lot of different directions that night. We'll see. But once again, I like this. This is an activity. This is something for people to get out and do, which has really gone by the wayside. Now, it's gone by the wayside because people keep, running into problems when they get out and mill about. They keep having difficulties. They keep getting hurt. And that will train a populace to mind their own business and stay home all the time. That's not necessarily a good thing. I think back, here we go. I think back in my day. I think back to every weekend in the city of Macomb. There were people everywhere, kids everywhere, especially teenagers. I know, I was up in amongst them. Having a good time. And then the same generation that continues to be in charge of everything 40 years later said, we don't like that. It's making too much noise. You need to go away. You need to go find something productive to do. Well, that worked out great, didn't it? Things are so much better now. And I just want to make sure I'm perfectly clear here. If it sounds like I'm being critical of those moves and those decisions from a long-term standpoint, looking at it 40 years later, 30 years later, how'd that work out? Well, it's because I am. Because what do we go by? We don't go by ideas. We don't go by theories. We don't go by rock solid stances. We go by results. Which kind of ties in nicely to the Charlie Kirk funeral yesterday out in Utah. A couple 100,000 people. I've seen some reports that the attendance for that was up in the same category as the funerals for JFK and MLK. It was that level of an event yesterday. When you get up into that territory, something's going on culturally. And it is. large chunk of the population still hasn't gotten the memo and don't understand yet and are still trying to play the old game by the old rules in the old way. They're not going to have a good time because this movement is results oriented. Here's what I mean by that. Yes, this was instigated by the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was the final hit of the sledgehammer to knock loose enough of the dam that the entire lake started emptying. That's where we're at. And now the results are coming about from over a decade of oppressive, controlling nonsense from the left. Like flipping a light switch, we went from, well, we got to get along, we got to try to find common ground, to sit down, shut up. Not interested anymore. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was very symbolic in that respect. So now we move forward. It's going to be very interesting. Arizona, excuse me. Yeah, not Utah. Sorry about that. Utah is where, of course, he was killed. Had that on my mind, as I think is understandable. But it was Arizona at the State Farm Arena where the event was yesterday. Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate that. The thing is, there's a whole bunch of people that don't understand how the world changed on September 10th. It did. Culturally, attitude-wise, the world changed. It is now time for consequences based on results. After you've done something for a long period of time and things have only gotten worse, well, it's time to rise up against it. I've seen a lot of conversation about Erica Kirk. You heard the audio on the news at the top there. Erica Kirk forgiving the kid that shot and killed Charlie Kirk, her husband. There's already been a lot of debate about that. Let me give you Dave's take on this. Number one, good for her. That was an incredible moment, incredibly powerful. But there's going to be some confusion on the side of the left after that, because in their mind, she said she forgave him, so it's all over now. Oh, no. There's a difference between forgiveness and justice. Those are two different things. And it's not just justice for this one killing. It's justice for over a decade of nonsense that has been rammed down everyone's throat and used to beat them into submission. It's the old expression, you may have heard it before, I'll forgive you, I'll never forget. Because what happened will guide the decisions I make moving forward to do my best to make sure the same result never happens again. Forgiveness is not the same thing as letting it go. Forgiveness is not the same thing as pretending it never happened and continue to do everything the way we've always done it. That doesn't work that way. Remember, we talked about this last week. You can turn the other cheek, but sometimes it's table flipping time. We are now living in table flipping time. And a lot of people are going to have a lot of problem adjusting to the change. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. If I had to guess, it's going to get loud for a while. Probably stay at an elevated level of noise for quite some time. Mo says got 7/10 of an inch Saturday evening. Whoo! You in high cotton, son. Look at that. Like it.
I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time.
He got 7 big raindrops. Only got 4 at my house. And one of them was Gonna be honest, is stretching it to call it a big raindrop. It was a medium drop at best. Now we should improve that coming up in the middle of this week. Those are rookie numbers. We're going to try to pump those numbers up. When we come back, the continuing story of the Turning Point USA chapter up at Clinton High School. You may have heard some developments. There's a lot of different developments involved here. We'll talk about those when we come back on Super Talk Mississippi, Pike County, 93.5. Keep it here.
Ladies, your health is your priority, and the Women's Health Center in Macomb is here to support you. We're thrilled to announce the return of Dr. Ann Vu. Dr. Vu joins our dedicated team, including Dr. Kevin Richardson, nurse practitioner Shayla Stanberry, and midwife Tara Givens. From routine checkups to specialized care, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Schedule your appointment today. Visit us at 1318 Harrison Avenue or call 601-684-2300. The Women's Health Center, where your well-being comes first.
North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on Super Talk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Southern Metalworks, Toyota of Brookhaven, Burton Tree Service, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Health, Peterbilt of Macomb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at supertalkpikecounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple are just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have to pray. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page.
Welcome back. Monday morning on Super Talk, Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Dave Hughes here. Message in. The left have unleashed something that has not been seen in our lifetime. It will be amazing to see what comes. Yes, it will, because there are different flavors of Christianity throughout history. We tend as human beings to get caught up in believing that what we have and what we have known in our lifetime is it. That's the way to go about things. That's the way to do things. That's the way things are done. And that's not to say that other ways aren't bad or aren't good. They're just different. It's a different approach, and I will give you a rock-solid example of that even you know about, even if you're not a student of history. A different flavor of Christianity. Ever heard of the Crusades? Wasn't a lot of sitting back and taking the punches then, was there? I'm not saying we're headed back to that level of whatever. I am saying, though, Christianity does not always involve sitting back and letting people pummel you all day, every day, which is what's been going on for a while. You do that long enough, and there is a rising up. And we are currently in the rising up, or as I see people saying online everywhere, and I love it, we're now in the find out stage. Hope you enjoyed that first part, because we're now in the find out stage, and that's where we're at. And even that is not new in Christianity. Nowhere close. Go look up the Crusades. Not saying the Crusades is a model anybody should follow. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. Just remember, there are different aspects to this. There are different ways to go about it, and the switch was flipped on September 10th to move us to a different method. That's why you're seeing such a difference and hearing such a difference and seeing such a movement around this and seeing such a movement against this. It's the way it works. It's history. Speaking of that, the Turning Point USA chapter, they tried to start at Clinton High School. I told you last week, told you Friday morning with Lance, we were here on mornings, and I broke it about Russ Latino. Known Russ for a minute. I trust Russ. Russ is good. Russ is not someone that goes around just trying to whoop up controversy so you've got something to talk about. You've heard him. He fills in here on the network from time to time. Great guy. Very smart. Every time I've ever had the pleasure of interviewing him, I said this the other day, I could talk to him for the entire show, all 3 hours, and we'd have a blast, and we'd cover everything under the sun. Love Russ to death. Well, he reported Thursday afternoon that it had been turned down. Well, then the Clinton School District started putting out notices. They first said that the request wasn't made in time. Then they swapped over, and now they're saying, after Russ kept digging, now they're saying that it was because it wasn't a student. I'm going to read you Russ's latest thing on that he posted Friday. He said, yesterday I reported that Clinton High School had shut down an effort to start a Turning Point USA chapter. That was 100% true, Russ writes. Clinton Public School District released a statement saying my reporting was incorrect, but then simultaneously explained why they denied the Turning Point USA chapter. Yesterday, surrogates for Clinton High School responded to my reporting by asserting that the reason it was denied was because the request was in violation of a policy that prevented clubs from forming after the school year began. I was told point blank this was the reason administrators gave to these surrogates yesterday afternoon. Today, they say the request was denied because it was initiated by a teacher instead of students in violation of a separate policy. My sources indicate there were a number of students who wanted the club, and the statement acknowledges that students also made the request. As he goes on to say, this is the third explanation I've heard. Russ, being Russ, did exactly what I would do in that situation. He said, last night I searched the entirety of Clinton Public School District's published policies and the secondary handbook to find out if there was a written policy on the timing of application and approval. I could find none. He pointed that out to them and asked for a copy of the written policy. And all of a sudden that excuse went away from the official statements. Now they're back to, it was teacher-led. We can't approve this because it's teacher-led. Now that you realized we don't actually have a timing policy for the formation of a club, well, it was teacher-led. Pay no attention to those students that want it. That's beside the point. This is continuing to build as a story. This is continuing down the road because they keep coming up with excuses. Russ keeps shooting them down, and then they come out with another excuse. 3 times that has happened now. They've given 3 different responses to this. And so far, none of them are holding water, really. It's become pretty obvious that they just don't want a chapter of Turning Point USA at Clinton High School, the administrators. That has become glaringly obvious. Keep in mind, Mississippi College, which is in Clinton, had 2 members of the staff let go after they made nasty comments about the killing of Charlie Kirk. So it's not even like that's an outlier opinion in Clinton, Mississippi, apparently. Now, where do we go from here? This dance will continue. I'm telling you where to go from here. But it's not going to end like it normally would. This time last year, something like this, somebody wanting to start, I don't know, they may even have one of these, but like a Young Republicans Club that had this kind of nonsense and one excuse after another about, well, no, we can't do that. It would have just went away. This is what I'm talking about. Things are different now. This will not go away. For one reason, Russ is a bulldog. He's got his teeth in this one, and he's going to keep shaking until something falls out. But the problem here is a deep problem. We have a lot of people, not all, but we have a lot of people in positions of authority over children who hated what Charlie Kirk stood for. You know, being a Christian, having an open mind, accepting others as they are, even if you wish they would change what they are into something else, still accepting them as they are. Oh, we can't have that kind of extremism. So they spew the most vile, ridiculous nonsense and do everything possible to block anything that might lead people in that direction. What's going on at Clinton High School is an example. I'm not making it up. It's right here in Mississippi. It's not the only one either. You know it just like I do. We have to get things to a point to where, stick with me here, I'm going to freak some people out. If you've got students at a high school that want to start a chapter of Turning Point USA and want to start a chapter of We Love Karl Marx, they're treated equally. I know what you're going to say. No, we need to knock out the one. That doesn't make any sense. Well, put it in a policy where there can be no clubs of that nature pushing socialism or communism or any other ridiculous failed concepts of how to live on planet Earth. And then we move on. They're desperately trying to make up a policy on the fly to justify turning down a Turning Point USA chapter at Clinton High School. That's what you wind up with. So what this takes is being reactionary. Let me explain. We have gone for quite a while now where we hear about something like this and go, well, that's the way it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to put this as succinctly as I can. What you're supposed to do is everyone involved in that decision make their life a living hell until they change it. Their phone should never stop ringing. Their inbox should be completely clogged full. Their voicemail box should be full to overflowing. They should get so sick of hearing from people who don't like what they're doing that they stop what they're doing. How long have I been telling you? Years. What is the most effective way to get elected officials, appointed officials, anybody to change their course of action that they're on? What is the most effective way? The most effective way is walk in the door and say, "What are you doing? Stop it now." They get that enough, it stops. Phone calls, a close second. And emails, those are easy to ignore. 3 clicks and you've deleted and emptied your inbox and never read a thing. You can't ignore somebody talking to you on the phone. You certainly can't ignore somebody standing in the office with you. If suddenly, and this is the other one I say all the time, if suddenly the mail truck backs up to the front door of the administration office at a high school or a city hall or anything, they're sitting there going about their business, and all of a sudden they hear beep, beep, beep. And they unload crates and crates and crates of letters written out with a stamp on it that were sent in to complain about something. Guess what? Things start to change. That's number one of the big differences that needs to come about from this. No longer letting things go because that's just the way it is. The feeling of hopelessness should be easing quite a bit for everyone right now. This situation in Clinton High School that I'm using to talk about. Perfect example. As I said, this time last year, if this had happened, it's Monday. It would already be a dead story. Nobody would care. Nobody would pay any attention to it, and no one would still be trying to change it. Post September 10th, we don't let anything go. We don't just throw our hands up and go, well, it's just the way it is. There's nothing we could do. You can, without putting too fine a point on it, you can annoy them until they change, because it can happen. It does happen on a regular basis. And that's what you have to do. Do you have time to pick up the phone, dial a number, and make a call? Then you have the ability to affect the outcome. That's what I'm talking about moving forward with any of these things when they come up. Not necessarily this one, certainly not just this one. But that option is there, and we have become very complacent over the last decade. By we, I mean conservatives. We have become the side of take whatever they give us. It changed a little bit back in November with the election. I'm going to argue September 10th brought about a bigger change than the election last November did when it comes to conservatives and their mindset. I think it changed things because it changed things at a deeper level. It changed things down at the bone level. Everyone was excited in November. Everybody was fired up. Everybody was motivated and say, yeah, we got to get them now. We got to get them. That was dealing with political questions. That was dealing with what are we going to get done. That was dealing with, the Doge effort to root out the corruption and get rid of the actors that have been hiding in the shadows forever, pulling the strings. And we're going to do that. And if you don't get enough result quickly enough, that kind of motivation dies. The motivation that took hold after September 10th when Charlie Kirk was killed, that doesn't die. That doesn't go away. Once you get that fervor lit, it sticks around for a while. That's why I say this was a much bigger thing than President Trump winning re-election back in November. This is a much bigger thing. It affects everyone at a very primal level that just winning an election never could and never will. Ronnie sends in Matthew 11:12, the violent take it by force. I'm telling you, sometimes it's table flipping time. Said that last week. We went over that. It's table flipping time. Leave no table unflippeth. That should be the rallying cry right now. And if they don't have a table, well, help them get a table. And then flip it. That's where we're at. And I suspect that's where we're going to stay for a minute.
Feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, but under the pressure of walking in your shoes.
Got a text. President Trump wasn't too forgiving to the enemy. He apologized to Erica at his speech, said Charlie was looking down angry with him. As he said in the speech, if you didn't see it at the memorial yesterday, at the funeral, he said, Charlie wanted the best for his opponents, and that's where we differed. I want the worst for my opponents. I hate them. Little difference. Pretty words to make ourselves feel better that we're doing the right thing. That's over. It's go time. Excellent point. Thank you for reminding me of that. We continue on this Monday morning on SuperTalk, Mississippi, Pike County 93.5. Right after this. Keep it here.
Every second I waste is more than I can take. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you.
Dr. Patrick Daigle is now seeing patients at Mississippi Women's OBGYN. While his location has changed from the Women's Health Center, Dr. Daigle's commitment to exceptional care remains stronger than ever. You'll find the same trusted care now at a new location within the Southwest Health Network. Dr. Daigle and Dr. James Nobles providing comprehensive women's health services at Mississippi Women's OBGYN. Same trusted care, new location, 205 Marion Avenue in Macomb, or call 601-250-4275.
North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk, Mississippi, Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Southern Metalworks, Toyota of Brookhaven, Burton Tree Service, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Health, Peterbilt of Macomb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at supertalkpikecounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at supertalkpikecounty.com.
I'm in the lion's cave. I've done it all before. I feel alive again, but maybe not for long. And let the day become full of light and desire. Is your life okay? Is it who you are?
Welcome back. This afternoon, President Trump is set to announce that they believe they figured out that pregnant women taking Tylenol raises the risk of autism. Notice I said pregnant women, not pregnant people, because that's part of the change we're going to see continuing to unfold. We no longer have to include dudes in an announcement like that. It's kind of refreshing, isn't it? There's one group of people, they can get pregnant. It's the ones with a uterus. This is not even controversial, or it shouldn't be, but it turns out it was. But that's the announcement coming this afternoon, supposedly. We'll see. I'm pretty sure that's what it is from everything I've seen and everything I've heard. The other big thing that continues to go on is Jiminy Cricket Kimmel, who is the true actual victim of the Charlie Kirk assassination. Yeah, that guy died, but come on, I lost my show, and that's horrible. It's the same grift we've been getting for over a decade from the left. The difference is no one's buying it, except they're diehard people. Unfortunately, their diehard people include some folks who still have some pull. There are arguments being made that this is this pressure that got Kimmel fired is going back to the fairness doctrine. The fairness doctrine, in case you don't know what that was, we talk all the time about how, remember when Walter Cronkite would come on and just tell you the news and let you form your own opinion on the news? Didn't tell you what your opinion should be, didn't slant the language and semantically lead you to believe whatever they wanted you to believe, and how we wish those days were back. That was because of the fairness doctrine. The fairness doctrine went into effect in 1949. The FCC adopted the Fairness Doctrine. What the Fairness Doctrine was, it required radio and television stations to provide balanced coverage of all controversial issues of public importance. Had to give both sides of the story. Think back to Walter Cronkite. And then in 1987... it was repealed unanimously by the FCC. The Reagan administration took them to court. Federal court upheld the decision to do away with the Fairness Doctrine. So in 1987, the Fairness Doctrine was done away with, and it removed the requirement for radio and television stations to tell both sides of an issue, both sides of the story. And now this is being decried by some as horrible. We can't go back to those horrible days of the... I'm not even joking. I'm reading an article from a retired broadcast attorney who is saying that. We can't go back to those days. This attorney says in this article, the practical result of the Fairness Doctrine was that broadcasters largely stayed away from presenting controversial viewpoints. Yeah, and that's going to make things worse. How? How is that going to worsen the situation? Because when we talk about going back to the good old days and the way it used to be, and call up Walter Cronkite and say, boy, that was, you're never going to believe this, but back in the day, we had a guy that came on and told you the news, just the facts. Joe Friday'd the heck out of the news, just told you what happened, who, what, where, when, why, and how, and then shut up and went on to the next story. And that was it. A lot of the kids these days think that's the craziest sounding thing they've ever heard. That's because in 1987, the Fairness Doctrine went away, after having been in place since 1949. And then all of a sudden, we were off to the rodeo. I started in radio 5 years before they did away with the Fairness Doctrine. I remember it well. I worked under it. I'm familiar. And it wasn't that you strayed away from controversial topics. It followed debate club rules. If you've ever been in a debate class or held an actual debate, not what passes for a debate in politics these days, which is a farce, but actually followed debate rules. Both sides got equal argument, or you just didn't argue a side at all. That was your two options. If you're going to present the argument for something, you have to present the argument against it. Or you just don't present arguments for or against. You just explain what happened and let the audience make up their mind. This is being decried as a horrible step backwards. I'm going to disagree. As someone with experience working under that, all the way till now, I have not seen an improvement in anything. So this is what we're still fighting. This is what we're still dealing with. There's a large cadre of people out there who not only want you to be able to argue one side, but they want to make sure to shut up anybody who's not arguing theirs. Because anybody who doesn't agree with me is an awful person and doesn't deserve to be alive. We're literally seeing that play out right now. That's what a lack of something like the Fairness Doctrine leads to, in my opinion. All or nothing. You're either with me on every single solitary issue, or you don't deserve to have a pulse anymore. That is the attitude that has, I started to say developed, I think festered would be a better word, ever since the Fairness Doctrine was done away with. Yes, I think the Fairness Doctrine will be fine coming back. Now, the one difference is the Fairness Doctrine went away. In part, that led to the explosion of talk radio, where I'm at right now. Because people could pick one side and polarize things and go with it. Nonstop. Didn't have to give the other side. And that has led the populace to reach a point to where all they want to hear is what they already agree with. I'm not sure that's the healthy way to move forward. I made the comment earlier that things were going to get loud and that there was a different mindset now that goes down to the bone level. The difference between it being good or bad is whether this turns into a defensive or an offensive struggle theologically and societally. If it's a defensive struggle, what I mean by that is we shut down all of these idiots who want to scream in your face and explain how you're awful and you need to die. Or even worse, just try to kill you. They need to go away. But if you want to go off over there to the side and privately believe whatever nonsense you want to believe, go for it. That is a foundational aspect of America. You can be as stupid as you like, as long as you don't try to impose that stupidity on anyone else. How many times have you heard me say, good fences make good neighbors? I don't know what you're doing back there behind your fence. Every once in a while I hear a goat in its death throes, but I'm not asking questions as long as you keep it on your side of the fence. Leave me alone. And every time you poke your head out, well, we smack you on the end of the nose with a shovel, and then you can go back in there and continue what you're doing. That's the next step in this. Definitely not saying it's a bad step. It's overdue. We need it. We just have to make sure we don't go too far. As with all things. By the way, we will, because that's human beings in a nutshell. But let's get back to the days of Walter Cronkite. I don't think that's a bad outcome in all of this. I mean, it won't help the goats.
If you cry out for more, if you reached out
But still.
for me, I would run into the storm just to keep you here.
At least then we won't have people
Gone beyond my years. Wasted half my life, but I found it all.
screaming and demanding that
Did I save you? 'Cause I know you
we
saved
participate in the goatism. You want to go be stupid, that's on you. You don't get to force your stupidity on someone else. It applies to everybody. Well, it should. It hasn't. It's about to. Final break. We'll close it down next.
There's a darkness down inside me that I know will both enjoy, and it's screaming from within to set it free. I have left it flying.
Tired of living with an overactive bladder? Constant trips to the restroom and sudden leaks don't have to disrupt your life. Axonics Therapy at Southwest Urology Clinic offers a long-term solution helping you regain control and confidence. This advanced FDA-approved treatment is safe, effective, and designed to fit your lifestyle, and best of all, it's right here close to home. Take the first step toward lasting relief. Call Southwest Urology Clinic at 601-250-4344 today to learn more about Axonics Therapy, because confidence starts with control.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Southern Metal Works, Toyota of Brookhaven, Burton Tree Service, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Health, Peterbilt of Macomb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world.
Yep, out of time. Completely out of time. You have a great day. We'll do this again tomorrow morning at 9:06, my friend. I'll see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.